to another edition of Superkickin with Stephen and Greg, your favorite host here. Stephen A, 1181 right here. The Greg one over there. We are ready to rock and roll. I got my WWE FastLane t-shirt rocking right here. Fresh off the store yesterday. Live here in Indianapolis. Cannot wait. Think it's going to be a good night. Don't think I really expect anything too groundbreaking, but you know, it's cool to have a live event here for the first time since I think it was 2017 or 16.
Oh,
Around
nice.
there. Maybe 17 or 18. It's been a few years, Greg. So glad to have it back here. Fresh off a Wrestle Dream that saw the appearance of Adam Copeland. And of course, now we're hearing rumblings of a certain Second City Savior, Greg, that will be probably coming back to WWE. It's a crazy time right now. Like, who'd have thought all these moving pieces? But and then I think next year's going to be even crazier, just because a lot of AEW contracts should be starting to get up soon. So, and of course, Greg, if Indy didn't need enough news today, Jonathan Taylor signs an extension. ... After all that, I don't want to get too deep into it, Greg, because I feel like that'll sidetrack us from what is the official story tonight is Fastlane. But how was your week, Greg? Glad to have you back on with us this week.
Yeah, man, it's been a crazy week. Busy as usual. Sorry about sliding in a few minutes late, but that's the life that I chose right now for these crazy days. But glad to be here. We got some awesome wrestling going on right now. Crazy stuff happening, and like I said, all the moving pieces. Loving that you get to go to Fastlane tonight. There's always a different energy with the live events, the pay-per-views, as opposed to a regular Raw or SmackDown. It's always that much more hype, that much more energy in the building. So I'm a little envious because I wish I could be there for it. I've been to a couple pay-per-view events live, and they're always that much more fun. And it's not often we go to a live event and get almost guaranteed to see a title change. And that's where we probably the vast majority of title changes happen is at these events. So that's always exciting because you can say I was there when it happened, that kind of thing. So super stoked for you that you're going to see some awesome stuff tonight. Looking forward to watching it and chopping it up about it next week. But that's awesome. And the JT news, got his contract, and he did his thing. He sat out, he whined and pouted till he got what he wanted. So that's kind of an NBA move, and he made it work. So props to him. He got his bag, and I've got him stashed on the IR for one of my fantasy teams. Now I'm trying to figure out who to drop. So that's a nice problem to have, but
he's gonna hopefully start balling out. You got
exactly.
He's healthy. I guess in a way, it's a win-win for both the Colts and him. Because if he shows out, that doesn't, that's a good thing, and then he gets his money. So
yeah, and he's gonna make.
It is very surprising how it turned out, though. Greg, here locally, I know Sports Talk Radio was sick of talking about it, just because you could. Who wants to talk about a guy pouting? You know what I mean? We've known that from the CM Punk news, and now we're magically going to hope that it's all better, Greg. So, we shall see if that does in fact turn around. Come Survivor Series, hint, hint. Because the writing is there, Greg. There's the Corey Graves dropping the greatest trick the ever devil played was whatever ... whatever that saying is. That's right. A CM Punk phrase. A lot of the puppetry manipulation stuff that Seth Rollins was dropping on Monday night, people have brought up that is heavily CM Punk influence. And we got to remember when Cody Rhodes was coming, We heard, there's a nightmare on her, coming, or we heard those subtle hits. I don't think they're going to drop that, for no reason. So I'm kind of like I almost want to pull the trigger on Survivor Series, Greg. Like I don't know how we could get up there, but man, but we will.
Planting the Easter eggs on just the little
Yeah,
subtle hints that did everything but QR codes.
yeah, and that's the thing too. People are like with Bray Wyatt. I mean, yeah, you just don't drop like. I don't think WWE is the type. Well, they are the type. I'm sure any company could be the type to just drop hints and hope it works. But with something like this, Greg, I think you would have to think it's there, or you don't drop those hints. And so we shall see. But we'll hopefully have you up here for Squared Circle Expo. I know we've been chatting that up, so maybe March we'll get up here, and even if we don't get a live vendor table, we're hoping to be live in person for the first time ever.
Hey.
It would be 3 years. I guess it'd be close to 3 years that we've been doing this show.
Yeah.
This is right around after, maybe the middle of COVID-ish. So, yeah. But let's get into tonight, Greg. You did bring that up. I think it's curious to see what will Damian Priest do with Money in the Bank. Because part of me is like, I want to cash in. But then part of me is like, I just don't see it happening. So it's a weird dilemma. But let's just start with the Judgment Day match. We got Judgment Day versus Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. So it's Finn Balor, Damian Priest, tag team champions right now against Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso. We saw the big standoff last night, Greg. That makes me think you're either going to do a big Survivor Series match or we need the big War Games battle. And I think that's probably a better way to go about it. But who do you got tonight? And then we'll worry about where the other chips and falls they come. But who do you got tonight in this tag team title match?
I'm going to say that the Judgment Day retains.
Yeah.
It seems too soon, and I think there's more juice behind keeping it with Judgment Day and setting up next month with. I'm thinking War Games is going to happen because we haven't seen it all year, and this is raising the traditional Survivor Series match another level.
Yeah.
So, and you're not forcing it. And that's the problem we've had with War Games in the past is that you're just throwing teams together haphazardly and for no reason. So this makes more sense that the pieces are there. It's just putting them together and giving them that reason. So Cody and Jey doesn't make sense. I mean, Cody's buried the hatchet, but those two as champs, I don't see it. I think there's a greater purpose. We've been talking about the Usos 101, and we're getting close to it. We're about 5 months out, so it's time to start building that story. Cody's on the world title path, and this is a fork that we shouldn't go down because
Yeah.
So I don't see it. I think the Judgment Day has their own stays with their typical shenanigans and finds a way to cheat and win, but it'll lay the groundwork for more a bigger match next month.
Yeah, we'll need the War Games match, especially if you're contemplating up maybe this Bloodline Judgment Day alignment, so you can really build up some pieces there. I'm almost tempted to pull the trigger on Cody and Jey because why the hell not? I mean, I felt like we got the Judgment Day winning the tag team titles way too soon. It felt like who did they won it off? I can't remember. Who did they win?
Kevin and Sammy.
Yeah, sorry, they didn't win it off them that soon, but it felt like Kevin and Sammy weren't going to lose any time, and then they lost. So I'm not going to pull the trigger, though. Like you said, I think all the reasons you're saying, there's a bigger deal here for Cody and Jey down the horizon. So I guess we could get Cody another tag team title reign for the hell of it. with I think this would be his what, fourth or fifth tag team partner that he's won the title with. Because I think he's won with quite a few different partners. So I'd be interested to see. But like you said, I'm going to expect a good old barn burner. The rules be damned at times, Greg, and then let them go all the way out next month in War Games. So how about the LWO versus Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits? I'm going to tackle this one because I think it's got to be the Street Profits getting the win. To kind of, solidify them with Bobby Lashley. And Lashley brought up Jade's name, Greg, and man, Jade, kind of stepping up into that role, being the woman of that group. I mean, why not? Because we've already you got Rhea Ripley, you have Zelina with LWO. We need another strong female with Bobby Lashley and Street Profits, and I think it only would help her. So I'm thinking they might pull the trigger on that, just to really start getting Jade going. So, but I think it's got to be the Street Profits tonight. LWO will be okay in a loss, Greg. What about the surprise person? Who do you think is that going to be?
Well, I agree with you. I think the Profits and Lashley for sure. I love the new edge to them, and the mean streak a little bit, and slowly turning heel, and it's coming there against the mega baby faces with the LWO. That's not by accident.
Yeah,
and I think we're going to see. They may just go straight rule breaker tonight, and we see rule breaker things on their side, and doing stuff behind the referee's back, and the typical stuff. So it could go all the way, and they do it tonight, or they could keep slow burning it until they are 100% heels. But I think it's definitely going to happen. It's going to be better that way. I love the idea of Jade being a new member of it. But at the same time, what's Bianca been up to? I think she's still injured, or in wrestling terms, injured. And what's she going to think about that? And at the same time, I would love to see her in that role.
Oh yeah,
because she could use some reinvention too. Because she's been the same character since NXT. So to see her with the actual, mean streak falling into line with Profits and Lashley and the rest of them. I think that would be cool to see another side of her. And I love Jade in that role, but then there's obviously going to be that specter of Bianca, because everybody and their mom knows that Bianca and Montez are married, and she would be a better, more equipped for that role. So I think you'd automatically create that tension and that question above them every time you see Jade walk out with them and stand next to Montez. So I like Bianca better in that spot.
And that doesn't that one I wouldn't be against that either, because like you said, Bianca needs that. Big Ben brings up a kind of a rapid fire question real quick, Greg, about everybody kind of going across the lines, and I understand his thinking of not liking it, because we just talked about a brand split not too long ago. But then again, Greg, I'm like, it is what it, like we're going to get an NXT where Asuka's going to be on it, Cody Rhodes, John Cena, Paul Heyman, and the freaking Undertaker. I mean, what more could you want in an NXT that night? So, what do you think, real quick, Greg? I don't want to spend too long on it, but he did bring it up. How are you liking the idea of just, blurring the lines of the NXT, SmackDown, and Raw?
I love it, because all these guys are going to need that time on the main roster anyway, and it's the more hands on deck you can get, the better. And why, if these kids are ready to go and show what they can do on Raw and SmackDown, let them do it. If they want to timeshare and do time in both spots, why not? And eventually, the clamor for them to be on the main roster full time is going to be there if they're good enough.
Yeah.
So, and conversely, having those big names go down to NXT shows that NXT isn't just the redhead stepchild. It's quality, and they are going to try to recreate black and gold again.
Yeah.
They've been far away from it, and you see them working on it and trying to get back to that spot, but they can't do it without some of that main event talent on the main roster. So, but I'd love to see Asuka back in NXT and be NXT Asuka again. You better believe it. Undertaker anywhere, yeah, sign me up. Put that in my veins.
Not
Feed it to
wrestling,
me.
though.
Right, not wrestling, but whatever he wants to do, if he wants to commentate, if he wants to be a ring announcer, I don't care.
Yeah,
But
put
I
over
would love to see
Chef
that dude on my TV. So having the main roster stars come down and help put over the young guys, why not? And Becky and Tiffany is a perfect example of that. Holy cow, what a banger those two had! It was awesome.
We'll get into it. Don't worry.
Okay, so that's just an example.
Don't want to get the train rolling yet, Greg. I know how we go.
But that's just an example of what can happen when you
exactly.
have let those two forces merge and you make magic. So that's all I'm saying. Nothing wrong with it.
How about Io Sky versus Charlotte versus Asuka? I'm calling for Io to retain. Probably a nice, barn burn of a match. I think Damage Control. I think Bayley specifically will try to get involved, but not work out for her benefit. Already throwing Io Sky in there, like she'll take credit for the win for Io Sky. That's how I'm booking it for Bayley. Which direction are you going, Greg? Which hot Asian girlfriend are you picking?
Man, it's hard, but I gotta stick with my girl.
Asuka?
Yeah, Asuka all day. There's like no rhyme or reason.
You're calling for it?
I want you to get a title change, and I want there to be Asuka. And they really haven't done much more as far as recreating her and letting her be, the Asuka we all know and love. But maybe there's another, trick in the bag when she beat Bianca by blowing the mist onto her fingers and rubbing it in her eyes. That was a wrinkle we hadn't thought about.
Yeah.
So maybe there's another one. So I'll go, upset alert and put Asuka as the new champ.
Yeah. How about John Cena and our boy LA Knight versus Jimmy Uso solo? This should be all of them, right? This feels just like, I think Jimmy and Solo will get the majority of the match, and then it'll just be Cena and LA Knight show, and that'll be fun to see. Which direction are you going, Greg?
It's hard to say. I mean, I love that LA Knight's going to get the John Cena rub, and
Who would have thought?
It would be, yeah, I know, right? Hey, the dude's got the rocket strapped to his back, and they're putting as much jet fuel in it by having John Cena be involved in it, have the Bloodline be involved in it.
Yeah.
That's high quality petrol in there. I still can't see them winning though. It's
And I mean,
a
if you want to
huge
build up Solo and John Cena, I mean, you can have Solo pick up the win maybe over Cena.
right. And if LA Knight doesn't get pinned, that kind of saves his.
That protects him.
Right. Cena's been, laying down for just about all the stars lately, so there's no skin on his back. And LA Knight gets, another high profile match and, keeps momentum even if he loses. I would love to see LA Knight and Cena win and, celebrate after the end of the match, but it still feels like Bloodline to me. But maybe this does put LA Knight into the mix for War Games. So
And
there needs to be a way to do that.
If this, I'm not saying this is the match order, Greg, of what WWE put, but the way it looks is Cena and LA Knight the main event. You got to have them win, right?
Agree. Unless somebody or something is going to happen that gives reason for
Yeah,
them losing.
yeah.
Um, there's not many things that
Maybe Roman
I can
shows
think
up
of. Right, that's one thing. Yeah,
because he's coming back
Romans.
Friday for the season premiere, as they always call it, of SmackDown. But now I think you main event Seth Rollins and Shinsuke if there's the Damian Priest factor. Either cash in or doesn't cash in or cashes in and loses type deal. So I'm kind of curious to see what will main event tonight. But um, the World Championship match or World Heavyweight Championship, I do see Seth Rollins retaining, but I feel like Damian Priest is going to involve himself at the end. And I'm kind of thinking, Greg, he's going to lose. I hate a lost cash in, but I don't think they're ready to put the title on Damian Priest.
Well, number one, I think that Shinsuke and Rollins has to be the main event.
Yeah.
That's the biggest story going into this card. So if it's not the main event, I'll be shocked. Um, and I would still love to see Shinsuke win the match.
Yeah.
Um, and as great as they've done at the story and, you know, giving Shin that, that edge and that, um,
Just that
ability
different
to,
quality about
yeah,
himself.
yeah, giving him that new um, attitude and
Yeah.
actually putting what he's thinking ahead of Rollins instead of the other way around. It's
Yeah.
been genius. Um, you still watch it and go, okay, it's a great build up, but there's still no way he's going to win.
Yeah.
Um, and that's the problem is that, it still doesn't feel like there's any chance of him to win him, despite the storyline and the way they've played all the cards till now. Um, so I'm still going to be rooting for Shinsuke to win, and I don't think it's going to happen. Priest getting involved with the briefcase definitely makes sense, but I think it's going to be one of those failed cash-ins. Um, maybe somebody else from the Judgment Day comes out to stop him,
Yeah.
or he inadvertently gets hit by whoever, Seth or
Yeah.
uh, whomever, and it's one of those deals where he's going to cash in, then he gets knocked out, and
Oh, so you're
or
saying he doesn't cash in at all, like it's a
right, yeah,
failed attempt. And
exactly. I mean,
I could see that too. I mean,
last year we had that with I'm trying to think who had it.
Theory,
Yeah, Theory.
because
He
he got
tried
it,
to
and then
cash in like 5 times
oh
before he actually tried to cash it in and lost.
yeah,
So it could be one of those deals. With Priest, it seemed like it wouldn't be as many times, but I could see one failed attempt because of a botch or something like that. And, somebody getting involved or him taking a shot that he didn't see coming and the
inadvertent
casting never
shot,
happens.
the good old inadvertent money shot. So
Yeah.
as long as the ref doesn't take forever with it, right? I still think about that Carmella. He's just like the ref was like, "Oh, you want to cash in? Well, let me go politely hand this to the ring announcer to let them know that, before you cash in." But, let's talk a little bit NXT. We'll just skip over. Let's talk No Mercy. So you brought it up, and I do believe Tiffany Stratton Gregg had her coming out party. I think she's gonna be on the main roster, ready to go whenever they're ready. Because she showed out, she took some nice shots. Becky laid down for her at times, so it was just a really fantastic match. Um, Everything clicked there, and like I said, Tiffany is on that high rise. Whenever they're ready to pull the trigger, put on the main roster. I think they'll do it. So, give you just your own kind of quick take, Greg, as I know you were jarring, ready to go beforehand. So hopefully you can remember your thoughts.
No, I just absolutely loved it. Just on the edge of my seat from like the first few minutes in. I didn't get to see the first one, I saw the highlights and everything, but
Yeah.
I can see watching this match why, now I want to go back and watch the first match because it was awesome.
Yeah.
Just a 5-star banger. Both girls going at it and back and forth, and it had you invested, it had you emotional in it. And it's like it seemed like either one could win at any moment. And that was definitely Tiffany's coming out party because I've always been, lukewarm on her, and
Yeah.
she's gotten better and better and better. And this match showed me, okay, she is ready. She is awesome. I'm loving her, and yeah, absolutely, she's ready for the call up. And I hope she gets it because everything is where it needs to be. Her character is perfect, and the ring work matches what she does on the mic. So once you got that mix, you know, then let's go. So love that match, and
Yeah.
almost wish Tiffany had won. But that talent that big, she needs to go ahead and come on up and
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's
not waste
bigger.
time on NXT.
Yeah, there's bigger plans for, and she was off TV this past week, if I remember right. So I'm guessing, maybe give her a couple more, moments down there, and then it's time to call her up. So Dragunov finally got his moment, Greg. It took a little bit, but he finally got it, and a barn burn of a match. And then also we had Carmelo and the tease with Trick Williams. He was kind of patting the title in the closing shot and not
Hmm.
actually, not hugging, fully embracing Trick Williams. So I think that needs to happen, a split there because I think Carmelo needs to come up, give him a couple more, weeks down there, whatever. But Dragunov, new champion. And like you said beforehand, fresh matchups now for Dragunov.
Hmm.
Move on from Carmelo. We got this right off, the send off, all that, and just a barn burner of a match there. And Dragunov, whenever he's ready, Greg, I'd be curious to see how the crowd reacts to him. When he makes his way up, because the guy just got it all, and it's working. So I can't wait to see what he does as champion. How about yourself?
Yep, I'm happy I called that one. And Dragunov's going to be awesome because love that guy. He's ready, he's polished, and he's going to give you bangers every time he gets in there. And it's the right choice to carry on the torch, aka the title for NXT,
Yeah,
and let Carmelo come on up. Um, a world of opportunity for Carmelo. Put him in with Lashley and the Profits. You could, you know, just blow him up as the top of the card type of baby face.
yeah,
He's already had those 2 matches with Finn Balor that he lost on Raw. He come back for some payback on that
yep,
and put him into a main event spotlight right away. Um, there's so many things you could do with him, but he's ready. And he'd gone through the whole roster a couple times, so it's time for him to go.
yep.
And Dragunov's the perfect person to carry the torch and you know go back through the gauntlet with the whole roster in NXT. So loved it. The match was amazing, and love it that Trick got the win, so that he got some main events, some title love, even though it was short
I
lived.
was to say
Uh,
for about 3 days,
man, that's
two
such a
days.
bummer,
Sorry,
man.
3 days. Yeah,
I get it, but I hate it because you know Trick's like LA Knight. He's got NXT in the palm of his hand, and they're all about him now. So
whoop that
uh,
trick.
exactly, and Booker T,
Yeah, let's recreate
with
and
the
Booker T's commentary. Yeah. Uh huh. Yeah. I was
right
like,
is
so, Greg, I can't do Booker T anymore. I cannot
you
do
can't
him
take
on.
it.
I can't take like the guy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Just, at
I
least
felt the
that's
same way at the beginning, but now I'm starting to love it.
at
It's
least that
just
was during the theme song. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes he just him and
he's
people joke about Kevin Patrick being out of breath, but I sometimes feel like Booker T is running out of breath halfway through his long winded whatever commentary he's adding, Greg. You know who commentary gets the award goes to for commentary is John F. Moxley, because at Wrestle Dream, John Moxley did not give any F's about anything, Greg, with commentary. So, and he
I
got
know
two chances. He got two chances on it. So,
exactly. As Caliber would mention it too, he's going to the bank and cover all these fines he's going to get.
yeah,
It's
the
too
square
funny.
jar.
But yeah, it would be weird to watch NXT without Booker T now because it is over the top. It's finally got me reeled in, and I'm enjoying it. The
Yeah,
whole thing with the trick song, I was like cracking up at that. And
it was funny. I'll give you that. But after I was like, okay, come on. Now he's doing it. Now he's going to do it every time because he knows Twitter catches on to it. So.
exactly. And how do you not love no bread, no water, just me? When Braun's gone, I'm gonna miss that because that's the only person he does that with. But
Is
that's a
Braun gone
great
after
line.
his match? Eating an L to Baron freaking Corbin?
You should be after that. I mean, geez, I did not
I'd
see
be
that
like,
coming. I thought
yeah,
Braun was going to take that.
I'd be going to HBK's office and be like, all right, I'm done. Let's go. Get me called up. Like, I don't need a write off after this because what
Yeah,
in the hell is Baron Corbin doing? Picking up a win in NXT. Anyway, so
I don't know. Maybe he's
Saxon,
going to leave him down there and just start to, shoot Braun out of there because
yeah,
there's nothing left for him to do.
yeah. Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks won their match. Noam Dar won with the help of Gallus because now we're going to see Butch and Tyler Bate defeated Gallus, but now Gallus wants a Pubs Rule match, Greg, because we need a Pubs Rule match between British wrestlers, so we're going to get that. Lyra picked up the win to get the number one contenders match. I was only hoping it'd be we could put a third woman there, Greg, so we could have Kevin Patrick and Becky Lynch saying triple twat, as they like to say, with their nice accent. Get all the Irish. But Lyra picked up a good win. But you know what, Greg? Roxanne truly gets the bigger win because she's going to face freaking Asuka on this week's NXT. So that is quite the. That's going to be something to watch because I mean, obviously they've never touched, and that's pretty big for Roxanne at 20 years old or 19 years old to wrestle Asuka in NXT. I mean, sign me up for that.
Yeah, that's the magic words, Asuka in NXT. And what is Asuka in NXT? Undefeated.
God.
Exactly. So if she loses, I would not be happy. I will be coming onto this podcast salty. So, give it the old college try, give us a 5-star, but she better not win this match. My prediction is already there. You know what team I'm on. So NXT Asuka, better believe it.
And I guess you wonder if they even bring up, if she does lose, they might even bring up the undefeated streak just so that you don't think about it. But yeah, it'll be. I think Asuka gets the win and Roxanne gets to show what she's made of. So Gigi Dolan defeated Blair Davenport, but it doesn't look like we're done with that. Kalani Jordan picked up a win. It's very women heavy, Greg. What about Thea Hale and JC Jane as a tag team? Do you think we get JC Jane siding more with Thea well, actually, we're going the opposite way. So do you think they get Duke Hudson on their side?
Uh,
And that leaves Andre Chase kind of out in the cold.
I can see him doing it. He's kind of all in for himself anyway, and
Yeah.
I can see him wanting to hang out with the two hot chicks and feel all important and everything. The MVP should have the girls, yada yada.
Big man on campus syndrome.
Exactly. So I can see it happening, yeah. And they wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt to have a third like Duke in their corner.
Yeah.
To help them cheat, or because they still seem to be like a not a babyface team, but more of a tweener kind of
Yeah,
team.
oh yeah, because they're trying to get. Well, she's trying to get Thea Hale to buy into. So maybe
Right.
if they recruit Duke, it does get her to buy into it. So. And Dirty Dom got the help of all the Judgment Day to get the title back. Two-time winner, Greg. I don't know. Now that Dragon Lee has got the call up unofficially. I don't know. I'm still calling it for maybe Dragon Lee to get that title off him, Greg.
Boo all of that. Boo on it. I want Trick to get a rematch and get it back.
Get right back. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, if it can happen to him, it can happen for him. The NXT universe is all about Trick. I mean, why not put it on him? You get the message. Judgment Day is reunited and helping Dom get what he lost.
And JD's kind of unofficially there.
Right. And I don't know. I mean, Trick's not that life too. I mean, he can get low down and do the same thing, but he needs some allies. So,
yeah,
he was sitting in with the Lastly Lounge a month ago. So, maybe he's got some reinforcement he can call up too. So, I would love to see Trick get another shot, but I don't know. It's just unfortunate. It bums me out because I would love to see him with that title, and it messes with the whole idea of a Trick and Carmelo match. Now that Trick has the title, so
unless you build up the idea that maybe there's a rematch and Melo cost him, because Carmelo could be like, "If I ain't got my title, you ain't getting your title."
Interesting, but that would be a great way to put over your boy on the way out the door. So
yeah,
I'd definitely be up for that.
I kind of see something like that happening because, like we said, you did have the whole, like Melo embracing more the NXT North American title than embracing Trick Williams in their little closing shot of No Mercy. So, by the way, best intro ever for a NXT with the No Mercy video game tie-in because that was just awesome. So,
yeah,
it's too bad we can't get a No Mercy type video game for WWE where I could just mash buttons, Greg. But instead, they want us to do all these other things on a WWE 2K game that I never learned how to do. So, that's my only rant there. But we will get into a quick commercial break. Then we got to talk about Adam Copeland. I wonder how many times, Greg, we will say his name correctly or how many times I will drop the name Edge because I'll forget about it. But we shall see in the next segment. So, get a quick Elite Performance commercial and then get right into Edge's debut in AEW. Alrighty, there it is, Greg, the official, and he WWE let the rated R superstar hashtag or trademark go away, so Adam Copeland gets to use this. Just crazy to think in a way, Greg, but also not so crazy because you could tell he was running his wheels in WWE, and like you said, both sides kind of saw it. There's no bad feelings. This just goes back to my idea, Greg. You just induct him again to the Hall of Fame down the road when his career's all the way done. He could be the first ever two-time inductee in a way, as the same person. So gets to finish his career with Christian, with FTR, who's he's obviously good friends with. They were name dropped on TV once as the security guards when Beth Phoenix, when their house was getting broken into. Gets all the fresh matchups. And we already saw maybe the tease of him and Kenny Omega at some point, Greg. Maybe him and Jericho could go at it. Just plenty of star power there for Adam Copeland. I almost did it. For Adam Copeland to do. So, what do we think of Greg? You in or are you out on it?
I'm in. I'm still in. I think he's not going to get inducted for the second time into the WWE Hall of Fame. I think they're going to ignore this chapter and pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's in and he'll always be in, but there's not going to be a second induction. But I love it that he is all elite now. Great matchups, and the guy is money on the mic, so him standing across the ring from MJF, him standing across the ring from Jericho, him standing in the ring from Adam Cole. There's a whole lot of goodness waiting to be had right there. Some of those truth bombs that Edge is so good at when he's in a rivalry with somebody, and he starts talking facts about a guy's life and his career. He hits hard when he does that. So
he might put over Christian.
Hey, I mean, those are going to be interesting promos themselves when they get to it.
Yeah.
The things they could talk about each other. I mean, he hinted a couple things about Christian taking Sting's photo to the barber so he could cut his hair like everything. I mean, pulling stuff out of the hat.
Dropping him Jay, like kept using the word, the name Jay.
Yeah. So it's
were you okay with him not? I think you had mentioned maybe him aligning with Christian. I think to start his career, he needed to go across the ring, though. I think when all is said and done, I mean, like we said, if you could get him, or you could get him and Christian, the Hardy Boys. Now, apparently, Dudley Boys signed a Legends deal, so I don't know if that could happen, Greg. But man, if you could get all three of those teams in some sort of farewell style match, sign me up for it. But Hardy's, Edge, and Christian going on one last run, tag team trilogy, Greg, I'm okay with that too. And them all just signing the Motley Crue deal. When we're done with this match, we're done. And do not come back 2 years later, like Motley Crue did.
No, it could totally happen. I mean, I think Edge and Christian is going to happen, just not now. So, Edge has to come in as a babyface and, win the crowd over, have some banger matches, and 6 months from now, 8 months from now, and he has his heel turn and jumps to Christian's aid out of nowhere at some point. And we get a good heel run out of them, and it's harder to see, but Christian going babyface, and they recreate the flash photography segment of their careers. 5-second pose, that thing.
Stuff with Kurt Angle. I mean, that stuff.
Right. It would be funny. It would be hilarious for us. It would be interesting for today's generation, because what are they all about? Selfies and hashtags, and they could hit those marks easy. And instead of flash photography, here, take your selfies, and boom, boom, boom. So it's easy to adjust that gimmick to work for today. So it'll happen, just not now. And in the meantime, I think we're going to get a great, Edge versus, Team Christian to get them started.
Yep. It's funny to see him alongside Sting and Darby Allin. Makes you think of another person, Greg, who's alongside those two. But I think this is going to work out a little bit better. So we'll see. We had some stuff happen on, Collision. But let's kind of get into we kind of got into the main event of Dynamite. So we had, Adam Copeland come out there and want Christian out there. Adam Copeland's like, let's put everything aside. They hug. And Christian, and ever so gently, told him to go F yourself while mouthing it, Greg. So we're off and running on that feud. Any other takeaway there?
I expected nothing less.
Yeah.
Christian just had that standoffish look and demeanor and vibe, and he wasn't fooling anybody with that hug, and you just knew it was going to happen. Just how is it going to happen? And there it is. There we get it. And Christian, I've never cared more about Christian, aside from the Attitude Era, Edge and Christian, than I do right now, because he is just so great at being a villain, and I love a good villain, and he is. So, we want to see him get punched in the mouth, we want to see him get beat down, but he doesn't. So, if anybody can figure out how to do it and figure out how to get inside his head, it's Edge. So, it's a perfect way to start it off, and it's typical Christian to, not just say no, but say it no in emphatic fashion, like he did, and get the whole crowd to blown back with 3 words. So, here we go.
And not even said, like we said, just mouthed them, and everybody knew what he said. So. Second best character, though, Greg. Now she's got a new nickname, Timeless Tony Storm. She's slowly getting into train wreck status, Greg. She had some of the lipstick, kind of looking raggedy. She's got him off kilter. This character, man, the crowd is loving it, and it's definitely separated her from the outcast, which is good, because she need. I never thought she should be in that anyway. I thought she was a little bit bigger than that, Greg. So, I'm all about Timeless Tony Storm. It is a tongue twister to say at times.
No, getting there. She's there. She lives there now. That house they're doing an interview in. She is there. That is train wreck station right there. She is all the way in, and we love it. Wrestling in lingerie and the crazy interviews and the mushed up lipstick. Yeah, give me all of that. It's so good, and she's still killing girls in the ring, and she's half aware of it. So it's great to watch. I'm loving it so much. So we're on the same wavelength as far as that goes.
How about the Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho tag team loving this right now, Greg? Crazy to think these two are meshing so well. We also do have to bring up the Don Callis family enlisted a new member, Greg. Powerhouse Hobbs. What will this be? His 3rd faction now he's had to join, Greg? What are we doing with Powerhouse Hobbs? Do we even know?
Nope, we don't. I mean, Hobbs is just a mercenary. He'll go where
the money is.
Exactly. Because you figure, he's getting, Don Callis is going to shell out, big bucks for a, big beefy man.
Yep.
In his stable. So, it is off the momentum of the match with Miro. Whenever you ever watched the match where everybody in the building is chanting meat.
Not even during a meat match.
Exactly. You don't see that. So I love it. He's just another hoss to put into the stable. He's got a stable full of hosses, and that's how you build a world beater. I mean, that's BCC did it, and they need to add some more members to, before they get knocked down a peg.
And we'll get Jericho versus Hobbs for the first time ever, I believe. So we'll get that next week. So that's pretty cool to see. Bullet Club Gold, they spoke out against MJF. They were attacked. Jay White was, Greg. I've seen a lot of theories, and I think I'm going to go with it. I think that was Adam Cole under the mask and, the Kingdom guys from 2 weeks ago, where Jay White was taken out, and
Yep.
because it's not a very big person. So now the only downfall is Adam Cole is out for a little bit of time. So maybe it wasn't him, but um, now that we have Adam Cole kind of getting cozy with the Kingdom, it makes you wonder. But I'll be very curious when they actually play off who it is, Greg. Because like I said, if it's not Adam Cole, I don't know who the heck it is. Any theories on your own end? Who might be under the devil mask?
It makes sense that it would be MJF just because
Yeah.
he can play both sides, and he's not above doing something like that. He's got everybody loving him, and he still says I'm the devil, and
Yeah, that's true.
he'd be like, I told you so.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still not out of the thinking that it's still him, and maybe another his dark side, and his that side of him that is still all about himself or whatever. Otherwise, I really don't know who else.
Yeah.
Unless there's a new faction kind of retribution style that's going to start.
Ali.
Hey, why not? I mean, put him with some of the dark guys and give him a new name, and it's like, who are the Bullet Club enemies with right now, and there's not a exactly long list of names. So, but this would be a great place to involve a new faction, or. But
and you can play it up
MJF,
like it's MJF because you use the devil mask, but you could just use somebody else to throw off the scent.
Exactly. So it still smells like MJF to me, but it's easy for somebody to steal the mask and put on all black and have us think it's him. But
the Acclaim picked up a win with Billy Gunn. Speaking of guys that have no direction whatsoever, Greg, Wardlow's back. That's all. That's all we have to say there. And Ray Phoenix beat Nick Jackson. Really fantastic match between the two. Those guys just really are good partners together against each other, Greg. I feel like every match they have against, well, they haven't had many, honestly, but the few times they've gone against each other, it always just works out pretty well. But I kind of left the Wardlow stuff because I'm like, he's probably just thinking, how many days do I got left?
Exactly. He is out of here. He's going to be on WWE very soon.
And then I forgot to get the preview for that for tonight, but looks like they're getting Adam Copeland speaking again, Greg, tonight, which will probably carry that through. So FTR usually shows up on Collision, but and I think it's on at 7. But what do we think about the title Tuesday of AEW going against NXT being as stacked as they are, Greg? I kind of love it because that's what we want, right? We want ratings wars. So the fact that WWE's trying to put their best foot forward, AEW's trying to put their best foot forward, I don't know why people are complaining.
I know. I mean, we're going to watch both anyway. I mean, you're going to watch one and DVR the other one.
Yep.
And, so both are going to get that number. It's better for everybody. It works out for everybody.
Yeah. The dog has something to say.
Yeah, he's all about it too. He's going to be watching it.
I guess on that note, we'll maybe bring the show to a close because the dog needs to go out, Greg. Jeez. But anyway, so I'm looking forward tonight. We're going to head there. Doors open about 6. So we'll probably leave there about 6 and get there. Enjoy the night. Enjoy the evening. We'll have Tyler Albert in the building. I was really hoping they got McAfee, Greg, but I think McAfee's on location wherever college football is. So I think that could have been kind of fun to get McAfee involved somehow. But I think it's going to be a fun night and enjoy the show. And any last call from your end?
No, just I'm happy to be in the last undefeated person in our
Oh yeah,
league team in our league. Mr. 4-0. This guy
there
right
you
here,
go.
and happy my Chargers are going to the bye 2-2, and
By the skin of their teeth, right?
exactly. But the defense has been showing up in the fourth quarter and
Okay.
sealing the games with interceptions, so that's always a positive thing.
Yeah.
Um, but aside from that, be watching FastLane, looking for you in the crowd,
Yeah.
and
Man, that
see
dog
what.
really wants. That dog really wants.
I know he hears another dog outside. That's the only time he actually ever says anything. But looking forward to seeing what title changes hands for you tonight. So
If it does.
it's going to happen. I'm calling that shot. So some title is going to change hands. So maybe you get to see Damian Priest become champ tonight.
That would be something. Because I'm still surprised he's Money in the Bank winner, but we'll see what they ultimately believe. So, gotta get that spray, get that
Right?
dog whistle. But, all right. Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for the dog for joining us. He had plenty to say. At least it
Say
wasn't
goodbye,
as
Archie.
goodbye, Archie. Oh no, now he's going back again. All right. On that note, let's just end the stream before he gets going again. So, goodbye.